Hi friends, thanks for joining us for another cooking video. Can you believe we're just going to use these 4 simple ingredients to make these beautiful yam or sweet potato, whatever you choose to call it, tortillas. In our house we like to use them for quesadillas, or we like to have them as breakfast burritos with peanut butter or almond butter and delicious chia jam. So come on, let's get started. All right, we're ready, and I have another helper with me. Can you say hi, helper?
Hi!
Thanks for joining me today. So what we're first going to start with is we're going to take our yams and we're going to cook them. Now, there's many different ways you can cook your yams. The ones that we're using today, we actually cooked up in the Instant Pot. I'll put a link to the recipe we used in the video description. You can wrap them in foil, bake them in the oven for 30 minutes, as long as you poke them a few times. Or if you have a steamer basket, you can chop them small and cook them in your steamer basket on the stove, medium heat, about 20 minutes until they're soft. So we've got our yams that we cooked in the Instant Pot, and we're just going to pull the skins off because we don't want that in our tortillas. Do you want to help with that?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll do this one.
So if you're using your Instant Pot, you definitely want to let them cool, because the best way to make these tortillas is actually just to get your hands in there and let them get dirty. Which, that's part of the fun of cooking, right?
It's lots fun.
It's lots of fun.
Yep. I love it.
Woo! Okay, we had one sweet potato casualty, but we rinsed it off and we are good to go. And if you call them sweet potatoes, if you call them yams, it depends on where you're from. Most people in Canada call these orange ones yams. If you're south of the border, you probably call them sweet potatoes. We're using the orange ones. So I will probably use the term interchangeably today throughout this video, but what we're talking about in this recipe today is these orange ones. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna measure and see how much I have. These are medium yams, sweet potatoes. So if you look here, that looks like that's about 1 cup. What do you think? Does that look like 1 cup?
Yep, 1 cup.
1 cup. We're gonna toss that right into our bowl. Do you wanna toss it in for me?
Sure, I've got to get my hands in there. Hola!
There we go. And let's see how much this other one. It looks like it's probably gonna be a little bit less than 1 cup, but that's okay. We're gonna make it work. So yeah, it's a little bit under 1 cup, but again, we're not too worried.
Because
it will work out in the end. We will make adjustments as we go. You'll see. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna mash up these yams, sweet potatoes, orange tubers. There we go.
gotta break it up first.
Gotta break it up first. So now, why would we use yams instead of just regular corn flour? Well, there's a lot of health benefits to eating yams. They're high in vitamin A, vitamin C, they have magnesium in them. So, you know, eating yams can help you to de-stress and relax, since magnesium's good for that. And if you're familiar with the Blue Zone study, 7 places around the world where people have the longest lifespan and the best quality of life with the least incidence of cancer and other chronic conditions. In Okinawa, Japan, which is one of the blue zones, they actually eat an abundance of these yams, sweet potatoes, orange tubers, whatever you want to call them. So now we're not going to be too picky about mashing them up, because we're just going to mix everything with our hands later. So you want to get your hands in there and just mix it all up with your hands? Okay, I'm going to do it then.
Later.
You'll do it later. So I'm just going to mash it up here. Now, since my hands are nice and messy, could you grab one of those flours there? That one there. Okay, first we have here, this is 1/2 cup of tapioca starch. We're making these gluten-free today. You can just sub all the flours for all-purpose flour if you are making them with gluten. And grab the other one there. We've got, we showed you at the beginning, the Maseca corn flour. This is what's typically used for making tortillas. And yeah, toss it in. We've got, what is that one, 1/2 cup? You measured that. That's 1/2 cup. So we've got 1 cup of flour and plus or minus 1 cup of yam. And do you want to grab that other little bowl there with the pink stuff?
Okay.
We've got here
1 teaspoon of salt.
Actually, I think it's a 1/2 teaspoon.
No, I put in 1 teaspoon.
That was for our other recipe. You've been such a good helper today. This one's a half teaspoon. Is it stuck in there? Whoa.
Whoa. You didn't get it right over the bowl.
That's okay. Making a mess is part of the fun of cooking, as long as we help each other to clean it up, right? Are you singing again?
Yeah.
Oh.
La, 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 la.
So now with this recipe, you kind of need to adjust the flour depending on how sticky your dough is. You want to mix it up? You want your hands to get dirty?
I said.
You're ready?
When I meant later, when you were starting to stir it up.
Now's later?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's a little stickier than last time.
You know why? Because we haven't added the extra starch yet. We're going to add a little bit of extra tapioca starch. You can see it's quite sticky and it's sticking to our hands, which would be really difficult to make a tortilla out of, right? So, thanks for showing us. Do you want to grab that extra little bit of tapioca starch and we'll just add a little bit? I think we put a 1/4 cup of tapioca starch in here, so I think we should toss in maybe half of it and see where we're at after we do that. That's good. Let's mix it up and see what happens. What's your favorite way to eat these tortillas?
With cheese on top.
You like
quesadillas.
Oh, quesadillas are yummy. I like putting peanut butter and chia jam inside them and having them for breakfast. Looks like it's kind of like playing with Play-Doh, doesn't it?
Uh-huh. I'm gonna build a castle.
Are you? I'm interested to know what everyone else's favorite way of using yams or sweet potatoes. How do you like to cook them? I'd love to get some new recipes, or let's share in the comments. What are your favorite ways to cook up some yams? Here, let's take this out and see how we're doing now. If we are ready to make some tortillas.
Can I take half of the dough for the tortillas?
Absolutely.
I get half of the dough. Mommy gets the other half.
So that looks quite a bit better. You can see it's not sticking to my hands anymore. You want to find a balance between too sticky and too dry. All right, so we've added a little bit more tapioca starch. The more you work the dough, the stickier it gets. And the same goes for all-purpose flour if you're making them with all-purpose flour. So, my friend's mom, Martha, very sweet lady from El Salvador, actually taught me how to make tortillas, but I have still not mastered how she can get them so thin just in her hands. We have a tortilla press, but I find for this particular recipe it doesn't work because all the starch makes it quite sticky. So you can see there, that's about a 1/2 inch thick. You don't want it too thick or too thin, because if it's too thin, they're gonna dry out when you cook them. And if it's too thick, it's gonna be gummy in the middle. So we're gonna make a bunch of these, and then we're gonna toss them into our cast iron frying pan, and then we are going to cook them up. And was that a castle?
Yeah!
Oh man, and the castle's being destroyed for the sake of our lunch.
Okay, let me just break them up.
All right, we're here at the stove. We've got our cast iron pan heated up. You could add a little bit of oil if your pan is nicely conditioned, then you don't need to add any oil. So we're gonna toss our little tortillas onto the pan here. You can flatten them out. Ooh, this is still a little bit sticky. I mean, we might have needed to add it's not too bad. So we're gonna toss our tortillas onto the pan. And now when Martha, my friend's mom, taught me how to make these, she said tortillas are about 30 seconds to a minute per side. But with these ones, I find they need to cook a little bit longer, so about a minute and a half. I'm gonna put another one on, okay? There we go. That one's squished enough, I think. You're gonna squish it in the middle. Okay, so we're gonna wait a minute and a half, or we're gonna flip these over. I've got one done already. You wanna see? You want it to be a little bit brown on both sides. And I'm keeping them warm in a nice towel here once they're done. If you cook them too long, they're gonna end up being more like a flatbread or a roti or a chapati. This way we want them to still be bendable because we wanna make quesadillas out of these for lunch. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, we're ready to flip. Brenna, can you list some rules for being safe at the stove for other kids?
Don't touch the pan unless the cast iron pan, unless there's one of these holdy things on them.
She's talking about one of these. What else? Always have who with you?
An adult with you.
Yep.
La 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 la. That's perfect on that side.
Nice. Got our last one done here, and we're gonna keep them ready. There it is, in this nice warm towel, so they stay nice and soft, and we will show you how we serve them up for lunch. Here are our finished creations for lunch. Our one helper decided she wanted to have a cheese quesadilla with that avocado hummus that we made earlier. And our other helper wanted to have a tofu and cheese quesadilla. We're using that Emborg cheese again today. And then mine has beans and lettuce, and I'm gonna put a little bit of that hummus on top. So now, the great taste test. Here's your tofu quesadilla. And our hummus one. What's the verdict?
Great.
Great. And what's your verdict? Ooh, mine's a bit messy.
Everything fell out.
Everything fell out. Oh no. Here. There we go. You ready? How's it taste?
Good.
Good. Let me take a bite of mine. Very tasty. A nice way to put extra vegetables into your meals. We hope that you enjoy making these delicious, sweet potato or yam tortillas. Thanks for joining us. Please comment below on any other recipes you'd like to see in future. We are so glad that we're still able to connect this way, and thank you again. Take care. Stay healthy. Bye-bye.